So, for today's session, I want to really talk about financial planning from a holistic standpoint. And that includes both wealth planning and risk mitigation at a very high level. Obviously, there's a lot more to it than that. But those are the two biggest pain points that I find clients struggle with. And when I say pain points, it's because there's so much information out there readily available, which is good. But the problem is there's a lot of wrong information. And the reason that it's wrong is it's very cookie cutter. And you may find that certain advice is good for one person, not for the other. So it's important that clients seek professional advice to really understand, to have those professionals really understand your specific needs. And when you sit down with a professional advisor, they're going to not only figure out what your cash flow is, figure out what all your goals are, figure out where all your money inflows and outflows are. They're going to do risk assessments with you, proper risk assessments, to see what you should be really targeting in terms of your investment objectives for the wealth planning side. And for the risk mitigation side, that would be the insurances. That would be life insurance and health insurance. Health insurance could be critical illness insurance, could be disability insurance, it could be long-term care insurance. Insurance is something that I think is a very important part of financial planning. I think some advisors might put too much weight into it, and others don't put enough weight into the insurance aspect of it. Again, there isn't a one size fits all approach for a particular client, so it's really important to for a professional like myself to sit down with you and figure out what makes most sense for you. If you're a young family or you're just getting going, a young professional, typically term life insurance is probably the most practical product for you. Maybe not, though, right? Again, it's highly subjective. But the reason I suggest term is because it's very affordable. The younger you are, the cheaper it is. Term insurance starts off cheap and it gets more expensive at every renewal. Whereas there's permanent life insurance and there's different types of permanent life insurance that you pay a higher premium right off the bat, but typically that premium, depending on the type of product, doesn't change over time. And you can even get permanent insurance where the policy you're done paying for it after a certain period of time, right? I'm not going to get into the details of the different types of permanent insurance and how term life insurance works. It's just important for me to share that insurance does play an important role for business owners. Maybe a permanent, like a whole life insurance, might make more sense. Something I think most clients would benefit, whether you're is for personal purposes or for business purposes, is critical illness insurance. And critical illness insurance is definitely, it's still flying very much under the radar. It is a fantastic product that I highly recommend everyone who's able to get some sort of critical illness insurance. The way critical illness insurance works is it pays out a lump sum tax-free amount when you are diagnosed with a critical illness from your doctor. So it doesn't have to be an insurance company's doctor. It would be your doctor. And then what happens is when you go to set up an application, you decide right off the bat how much coverage you'd want, whether it be like a $50,000 policy, a $100,000 policy, $200,000 policy, whatever it is. Again, that amount we would arrive at that from doing a proper fact finding to figure out what amount is appropriate for you based on your budget, based on your needs. Critical illness insurance then pays out that 100,000 or that 200,000 at diagnosis, and it's tax free. Why would someone need critical illness insurance? If you have benefits, group benefits, your benefits will cover certain medications, but it won't cover all your medications, especially if it's a very expensive medication. The benefits might cover some of it. They might not cover any of it, right? And then you're left to decide if that's something you can afford or not. Most Canadians can't afford the higher amount without some sort of fund, charitable donation. There's charitable organizations out there who will help fund it, some of it anyway. But for a lot of patients, there's certain medications that are just out of reach, unfortunately. And a big part of that is because they might be newer to the market. They just recently went through clinical trials and the cost of the medication is just extremely high. And maybe there's just not a lot of use, a lot of research into the efficacy of it yet. Maybe that's why governments don't go and fund it and include that. Maybe that's why insurance companies don't include that in their shelf yet. And it might just take some time before those are included. Other things that people would want critical illness insurance for is for other costs that aren't covered through your benefits or through government programs. That would include equipment, medical equipment, maybe retrofitting your home if you've developed a disability, right? Uh, Taking time off of work, that's a big one, right? If you get diagnosed with a critical illness and you need to take time off of work, maybe this money would help cover your bills in the interim. There's lots of different reasons to have critical illness insurance. And it really comes down to it gives you that peace of mind. So you don't have to worry about the financial stress. You can focus on healing. So that's a big piece of it. Same with life insurance. Life insurance, why does someone need life insurance if they have life insurance through their work benefits? The work benefits, it's a limited amount that you get paid. And if you leave your employer, then you don't take that life insurance benefit with you typically, right? So then when you're older, you'd have to apply for life insurance on your own, and it can be a lot more expensive as we get older. So the sooner you can get life insurance, the better it's going to be for you from a price standpoint. So when you sit down with a professional, they're going to find out, okay, what type of insurance would make most sense for you. And I highly recommend that you get something. You get some sort of life insurance. You get some sort of critical illness insurance. If you have disability insurance through your work, great. How much is that? Do you need a top up? Things like that. Because that's the defensive side of your financial plan, right? I always say in sports terminology, defense wins championships. And it's absolutely true. If you have a strong defense, then you can really focus on, okay, all right, now I can focus on my offense, my wealth. And I know that if something happens along the way that derails me, maybe I'm out of work, right? Maybe I'm completely out of work, right? Maybe I'm dealing with cancer and my costs are through the roof. I don't have to worry about selling my home. I don't have to worry about taking on huge amounts of debt. I don't have to worry about cashing out my retirement savings because I have this insurance, this defense that's going to take care of it so that it will not derail what I've worked so hard for up to this point to save. Now I can continue on with the healing. I can continue on with trying to hit my objectives for retirement or whatever major savings strategies I might have in place, right? So defense wins championships. You need that insurance side. Then we look at the wealth side. We look at, okay, depend on your needs. Are you looking at saving for retirement? Are you saving for a major purchase, for a first time home purchase? Or maybe you're just looking at saving for a big vacation, whatever it be. Maybe you have children who are going to college or university and you're looking to start ramping up your savings for that. We look at those goals and we look at how we can best allocate your cash flow to those specific goals to hit those objectives. It is important to use a plan, actually use a financial plan. When you put the data into the financial plan, it's going to give you the forecast. It's going to give you the projections of where your goals are going to be over the years and what you're going to hit. And if you're going to hit it, if you're not going to hit it, there's going to be shortfalls, and then we can adjust and we can go from there. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. You need to build a plan. Don't just try and wing it. Again, work with a professional and we're going to do good work for you is really what it comes down to. If you do have any questions and you're currently working with an advisor and you want a second opinion, whatever it may be, feel free to reach out to me. Send me a message. You can email me at colin.whitehead@ig.ca. That's COLIN period WHITEHEAD at IG.ca. You can send me a message through Instagram, through my professional Facebook page, through YouTube. Send me a message and we can book just a 10-15 minute meeting just to get to know each other and see if there's anything I can do, any advice I can give you with whatever you have planned so far. So definitely reach out, give me a shout, and happy to have that chat.